There we go. Okay.
Fear made me dizzy. You got a lovely face, kid. Ain't too often I get a chance to meet a girl like you.
And you could be the one, cause I'm loving your energy.
Daisy, how many times you been kissing? Not counting tonight. Must be about 28 times.
Yeah, you got a problem, all right.
Ooh, boy. I got emotional, Linda. Baby, hello. We're live now. Hey, Linda.
Hello and welcome everyone.
Oh, I got emotional. I've seen that video I don't know how many times, but in that moment, I just got really emotional. And I've been getting emotional even when I'm at the shop with this new work, because I really feel I'm already feeling like I'm gonna miss it when it's down off the wall. But we are here.
It's big energy that you expand into the space when you create these exhibits, when folks come out and show the love, and it takes a long time to process that amount of love. It's a deep amount of love, especially while you're seeing yourself holding folks pre-pandemic, your vision coming to life after years, a decade, right? So absolutely.
So let's start this off. I always have my intro. My name is Kimberly Stewart Lucas of Absolutely Divine Events, also known as Warrior Mama, and we are here for another engaging, which I know will be engaging, and we call it a love fest, another artist talk. And today I am joined by my sister, my good friend, my inspiration, my motivator, my encourager, my all these things. And this is Linda Costa, y'all. Welcome.
Thank you so much for that introduction. The love is all the way exactly back. Everything that you just said, you are all those things to me. And you were first. So I learned from you and I'm grateful.
Thank you for that together, Linda. We were together.
Witnessing a beautiful woman in her fullness, becoming herself and going, yes, that's it. That's what I want.
Oh, Linda.
Still learning from you.
So we got together before the opening to do the behind the scenes, and we've talked about the origins. And I wanted to, now we're, in between before the closing. And I know that you weren't physically here with us for the opening reception, but you were there in a major way. Linda was in the building. Linda was in the building because when you, I guess I must share this early now, when you come into the space of Tri-Cities Tattoo Company, you are met with this. This is the homage to the Reclamation Project. And this is found on the Instagram page, Reclamation Art Show. So if you want to see more, you can go to Reclamation Art Show. You can follow the Reclamation Project on Facebook. but this is the vision that you had, that you and my husband, Lord Yada, came together on the phone. Like, I remember the night that we talked, right? And it was like, okay, you had this idea, and I was like, how can this work? But then I felt like it was like, yes, I like the fullness of it. It was like, okay, so we're vibing. Clearly, we had to bring Melissa into the fold, right? And then bring Yada into the fold because of like the actual hardware. Not that I couldn't do it, but you know, Yada's the one that hangs the show. And it came together, Linda, like this.
I'm so grateful. Thank you, Yada. Thank you, Kimberly. Thank you, Melissa. Thank you, everyone who made the real physical experience happen by being present, by showing up to the experience. Thank you so much for those who invested in art, including my own. Such a blissful thing for me to be able to be at a distance and still be engaged, still be a part of the Atlanta art scene, still be considered amongst all of these heavy-hitting, amazing artists that you had on the wall, and to have the tender hands of artists that I respect and admire tending to my work, putting it up, knowing that I could trust it fully, that, you know, whatever my vision was, I knew Yada could execute it. I knew that you would execute it well. I was grateful for Tri-Cities Tattoos for being a host to that event and being, you know, allowing my work to be in their space for that amount of time. And I'm so grateful that Melissa was ready and willing to share such, you know, fiery, seductive, and vulnerable images that were done in such a long time ago. And, you know, you and her had that beautiful talk as well for behind the scenes, Reclamation Art Show behind the scenes. And I'm sure you guys can find that through Kimberly's different pages. But that talk, she mentioned how it was something that she wasn't sure how she felt about, that she had different ideas about it since it was shown, but that she's in a space of authenticity and owning who she is, including these parts of her that were from a past time. And I think that's really brave and courageous of her to own it, even as she knows she's got a different feeling about them as time progresses. And that happens. You know, sometimes we take pictures when we're younger, we feel real free, and then we get older and we're like, oh, I don't want everybody seeing all that, you know? So for her to still be brave enough to share it after 10 years of it being captured is right? Such a gift. I'm so grateful.
I just, and I feel honored that you included me, because you will have prints available at the closing reception on the 13th, and that you included me in one of those prints. So,
well, first of all, the whole Reclamation icons would not be it without you to begin with. So you are included because you are the creatrix, you are the doer, you are the one that manifested this beautiful vision, and you are central to that iconic image that Ron, the graphics guy, Ron Tillman, designed into the beautiful logo that we see in the background of our talk today on the top corner of the screen there. It was inspired by that image that you are so prominent in. It's a whole triad there. You can't take a corner of a triangle and still be a thing, okay? Listen, the power of three is there, and you are a one of three for sure, my love, okay?
And isn't that something, because we're at Tri-Cities Tattoo Company, and they're all about, what is it called? The tetrahedron? I don't know if I'm saying it right, but yes, they're all about the tri. So
it's a very important symbol.
It's a very important symbol. So I honor all of that. So I want to talk to you about why you wanted to do what you submitted in this particular exhibit, right? So we're talking, this is the third installation. You've been a part of, you'll be a part of all of them. That's just, you know, I don't ever see you not being a part of the Reclamation Project. And in the past, like, I don't understand like how that would even look. But what was it about these images that you wanted to display in this way?
Yes, so I've been working with satin as a medium in the last couple years, and I really love the translucent aspect of it. I love that it's a material that you can, you know, was originally inspired by my good friend, the Pictorial Nydia Del Mar, the goddess of, you know, at the Church of Pleasure, if you're looking on Instagram. But so she's, you know, a friend and a guru and a sister, but she's fabulous. You can share Church of Pleasure. And I don't know, I did a print of her. I did a print
Is this
of
a
Nydia.
piece? Is this a piece of what does it look like? I'll go to your page and then
Yeah,
we'll
so if
see.
you
Oh,
go,
let's
if
scroll
you
down.
scroll deep enough in my Instagram, there's, an image of a wall that I did with chalk, blue chalk, as well as blue tinsel, and there's a big print that's hanging above. That's a satin print. It's got tinsel on the sides. So you may be able to find it if you scroll down way beyond all
Way
this.
down.
All
Okay,
this.
well, all that go down,
I've,
go
I've
down.
been I've been busy this year following lots of. That's
Is
another
it this
side.
one?
There
Oh,
you
this
go.
one
You
here. Is
got
it
it.
this one?
Yep. That's it. That's the central one there.
Oh, I
So
love it.
yes, and that was about five, 3 by 5. No, maybe it's 3 by 3, that print. But anyway, it's a sizable satin print. Was the first one that I did, and part of the reason why I did it is that she told me she's a nomadic traveler. She travels all over the world and she collects works, but she typically collects them in fabric, quilted art, things that are painted
Mhm.
on fabric, because then she can roll it up and put it in her suitcase and take it to her new home and still have something that she can make her space her own wherever she goes. But it's lighter in weight, it's easier to manage. And so it started me thinking about, how I'm always printing prints and then putting it in frames, and then if it doesn't sell, it ends up in my closet or somebody's house. So it's,
Yeah.
for an artist, it can be very difficult to maintain your creations when you're expanding into 3-dimensional things and framing and things of that nature. So I'm sure a lot of other artists can relate to this feeling of having too much inventory, essentially, post show. So for me, it was about trying to minimize my size of my own personal collection of works, and also giving folks a different way to enjoy the material of the piece, because I really love the heavy saturation on the fabric. I love how the
Mhm.
light transmits, and I love the flexibility of it, that you could put it over canvas as a canvas print, or you could put lights behind that canvas and get translucency, or you can put it on glass, or you can, there's so many ways to enjoy that print. You can sew it into your clothes for the smaller ones. I have little 4x6s I'm selling too.
Mhm.
And so it's something that I feel gives a new versatility to the creative, output. The commercial part of the piece is more versatile, and it's worked out really well. I think ever since that I started printing satin, I've been doing really well with selling satin prints, including the one that sold the night of the reclamation. You were asking me why those
Mhm.
pieces, why those images. Those images for me are the birth of the reclamation. They're the most, powerful images that came from that night. And when we say the
Mhm.
birth of reclamation, it's kind of a term that we use endearingly within the
Mhm.
circle of folks who are part of the project. But what that night really was the first time that Kimberly really invited some artists to manifest some creative work towards this project of hers. And she had all of her beautiful magazines laid out, all the players' magazines, and the covers were so rich and colorful. And, she was laid out in some of them. And we shot for hours, but it was this very slow, intimate process of getting to know one another, trusting one another in this total darkness while I'm lighting around you in these strange ways. And the more you got into the flow, the more you opened up, the more everyone will open up. So the works really that night, there's so many images, but the powerful ones are because of that slow process of each of you unfolding in the trust of what we were having. And me learning how to work with each of you, figuring out what
Mhm.
your language was, what you wanted to display, what you wanted to express that
Yeah.
night, with your own sensuality. So for me, it's a really magical night of
It was.
trust, vulnerability, sisterhood, because the three of you
Mhm.
had a very deep intimacy individually amongst each other, and so
But
building
even
it.
that was, you know, Jamila knew Melissa, but knew her through me, right? So I
Mhm.
have this I have this strong connection with Jamila, this strong connection with you. And we were building that at the time too, right? This
Yes.
strong connection with Melissa, it's as y'all all trusted like me to come together in this way because we hadn't known each other for like years and years and years, right? At this point, right? So it was like the house was the hub, and I knew that we had a connection because we are polar opposites, and your Aries fire to my Libra wind,
Love.
earth wind. I'm wind, right? I'm wind. Am I wind? I'm
Yes.
wind. Air. Y'all says
With the
your
wind
air.
beneath my
Yes.
wings.
He said your air. I am the air. So as you, and this is the thing that's so awesome about this, because my daughter, I asked for Aries, and she came on the first day of Aries, and I have the
Love.
relationship with you. I have a relationship with Christy, my sister Christy. You know, I'm doing this fanning, right? And it, you know, when you put air to a fire, it gets bigger.
Feed us.
It doesn't douse it. It
Feed
doesn't
us.
take it out.
Nutritious. Okay. We're just like yum, yum, yum. Give me all that air. Yes. That's what
because I'm
fire
going to
wants.
expand. And the
That's how
bigger
we
you
grow.
expand, the faster I'm flaming. And so
Yes.
it makes for a very dynamic relationship.
I love it.
I'll leave
I'm
it
so
at that.
grateful. I'm so grateful for it. It's all love. It's all creative, and it's all towards that communal growth, that personal inner growth, you know, and that sharing of that inner growth too. I think we share a lot of the journey. We tend to each other in moments of highs and lows. We understand those moments too. I think that's one of the things that I admire the most about you. I can relate to you on all the levels. It's the highs and the lows, and the coming together in between and making it happen anyway, you know, and calibrating them high and lows. So I appreciate you. Yes, absolutely. Well, that's that Libra. So you teach me about that balance I don't have, because I'm all fire.
Oh, you've got it. You've got it. It's in the way in which you got it. I think about that video. I just love, and this is, you know, the plug of it. Lenny. It's like this little. It looks like a little blurb, little ghost, and she just. It's a video on Instagram, and the one that really I think spoke to me the most was that life is like waves. Like life is like waves, baby. Like you go up, and sometimes you're riding that high, and then you crash. Like you crash deep, not into the sea, but into the sand below the sea. And then you surface, and you're able to catch that wave again. Like it resonated for me deeply, because that has been, you know, we have these artist talks, and it sometimes turns into a therapy session. But that's for me, in the depression that I've experienced, that's been my life, right? It's been like these high highs and joy. And I think it's life like that, definitely with the pandemic, right? Like I think everybody experienced a level of it, because it was like the rug being pulled from underneath you, and you're like, what you gonna do now? But I have come to, because I really believe after this, y'all ain't gonna hear from me until probably January, until we do something for Yada. We're doing
you better
something
take a moment for you time, please. You better regenerate all that energy you just put out. Listen, and we are so grateful that you're wise enough to go ahead on that sabbatical. Let's preach about another page we need to be following. Yes, you have to go and tithe to the Church of Pleasure, but also can we talk about the nap ministry?
The nap ministry.
Okay,
I knew you were going there.
Please get your nap life on. That is,
yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
One of the most wonderful artists to be coming out of Atlanta, originally from Chicago, started with poetry, and she's showing up with performance work, with, you know, purposeful work, but it's art, and it's you know, spirit too. So it's got meaning behind it. It's got history behind it. She's definitely schooling folks, but I think that she in November always takes a sabbatical. So right now she's on break. Don't even try to, you know, and she, you know, she's the type of person who's constantly like, if you come at me the wrong way and try to get at me when I'm not, you know, or don't really try to build with me, right? Like it's about self-preservation at some point, you know, recognizing that when we give so much, that, you know, compassion without boundary is self-abandonment, right? Like that's a constant thing I'm working through personally.
Say that again, Linda.
Only saying it because I'm working on it myself, okay? Not a guru here. Just speaking words I need to learn.
You said, say it one more time. I'm gonna type this in the
Compassion.
thing, honey.
Compassion without boundaries. It's self-abandonment. We let ourselves down when we put others first, to the degree that we do in this society, to the degree that we're not as important as our jobs, as our partners, as our children even. We need, without filling up that cup, nobody else is going to drink out of your vessel, period. You can't be everybody's anything if you're not full. So make sure you take care of yourself. Please and thank you. That's so important. Take that sabbatical with pride, with knowledge that you're tending to your sacred temple that does such mighty, mighty work, you know? Do it in awareness and in full freedom to do so without any judgment, reservation, or shame, you know?
Ooh,
As Nydia likes to put it, liberation's on the other side of shame. That's another good one. Hold on to that one too.
ooh. Compassion without boundaries is self-abandonment.
I didn't come up with that one.
Oh, you didn't? Well, you just said it. You just said it.
Good meme. Good meme I caught away.
In this particular instance, in this particular setting, you said it. I don't know who but that I have to quote you because you just said it in this framework. So we can find and credit whoever said it originally. But oh my goodness. You know, I remember having a conversation with Jamila about the reclamation not just being, because I had talked about doing the art, like some kind of an event surrounding it. And that's when she made it clear that some things I don't want to be seen, right? But we also, it just came up my spirit, we also talked about this being like a retreat or a workshop. Like there's so much that comes up and out of this work.
We got to talk about that's a private conversation, but yes, okay. All of that. Now I'm taking them.
And I think we even, I felt you when you made that comment about the men's workshop, right? Or the men's retreat, which is something different. Like I, you know, so important. That came out of seeing a friend like really need the rest. And I know that, you know, we always talk about self-love and self-improvement and it's for everybody. It's not just for women and the mothers and it's for everyone. And the men need that too. But I felt you when you put that comment down there, like this is something we need to have a conversation about at some point.
It's important because I think in our society, women are having to, as a way to survive, speak on rest, self-care, etc. Because the system crushes us first and hardest. And it's just got to that point where we're like, you want me to work the career and the house and take all the blame for all the sins? Wait. We're not doing this anymore. But men, as much as they get privilege from the systems, the structures, it's also a huge pressure. It's a huge burden. They're not allowed to rest. They're not allowed to have weakness or need or to express any of that. How can they come to terms with any of their own needs? You know, how can they have, you know, the boundaries and the self-compassion so that they don't self-abandon? And so it's absolutely imperative. You were talking about centering the divine feminine and how we all win when we do that, especially men, because men need it most. They're the least able to access it naturally without ridicule, shame, and, you know, ostracizing energy. So it's really important to, on the personal, do that work without thinking about the outside. Because once you do that inner work personally, you're not worried about the outside anymore. You stop worrying about the outside eye. But currently our society has immense amounts of pressure on men that are not reasonable. And so, yes, we need to heal the men. Yes, we need to give them space to rest and retreat and experience nature and get back in touch with some of the things that happen naturally outside of the box system, you know.
And touch, you just said touch, because I remember when I put that message out, Fahamu Peku had said, you know, there needs to be some level of touch in there because a lot of men don't experience touch outside of sexual, interaction. And there's something to that. There's something to a hug. There's something to a, just being touched that releases so much, right? So, okay, so we have to, because there are about 5 ideas that just popped in my brain while you were talking, and we're gonna have to do that.
Speaking of touch, I'm Brazilian, native Brazilian, and I think I show it very much in my acculturation. I am very touchy, and people often take me as being flirtatious or, being too intimate. I've had good close friends that are still like not the hugger types that are still warming up to me after 10, 20 years because I'm so like, I want to just swallow you whole with my hug. You saw that hug between me. I really
you lifted me off the ground. I lifted you off the ground.
So good. I loved it. I still feel it. And that's the beauty. That's the beauty of touch. That's the power of touch, is that hug was in 2018, and I'm still feeling the good energy from how deeply we exchanged, how much we needed to hold each other after so many years of distance and so much love between us and respect and admiration. So, it's one of the ways that we can express without that sexual layer, right? So it's such a beautiful thing. And, they say that just 20 seconds jumps up your endorphins level. So it's one of those ways we can bounce right out of depression if you have a close person, even a pet, right? That comfort. Bring your endorphins up, and that might make or break the day, right? Like sometimes it's day by day.
Moment
And if you can
moment,
have that in
honey.
your back pocket, right? Like, I'm not feeling so good, but I do have this person near me. I can go over there. My brother's not the huggy type, but when I'm not feeling good, I go to his room and I go snuggle up on him.
Does Gabe
I
know
just
how
go
much I love him?
He's such a blessing in my life. He just went to work. Otherwise, I would have dragged him in here. But so, even as he's you talk about polar opposites. He's the opposite of me in a lot of the ways that he processes the world. He needs a lot more alone time. He's way more in his, but he understands that when I need it. And so he allows me to get close to him. But I'm sure that it's healing and healthy for him too, right? But I'm just saying, as much as it's something he doesn't like, I know I need it, I go get it. So I think that's what's important for us, men, women, all people of all stripes. Okay, let's just get to this place where touch is something we value as a society in healthy and safe ways, that we understand the consent side of things, because that's very important too.
Very important. And also with our children.
Yeah, let's normalize healthy, safe, comfortable touch amongst friendship, amongst family, and amongst lovers too. I think even in relationship, men can be, especially publicly, very distant, and it's not to their benefit. It's because of image. It's because of presentation. I think that there's such a high demand on presentation in our society, especially as we're in social media. And I hope we can all free ourselves of that mask. It's so unnecessary. I think authenticity is showing through as what matters,
I just have the image of running naked on the beach. Just hands up, gone. Just gone. Look, and I know Christy just got back from a week-long tantric retreat in Costa Rica, and with the Atlanta Tantric Institute. Actually, I posted something from her today that it really impacted me when I read it this morning, talking about the transformation, particularly as women, that we make, right? You think about who we were, Linda, in 2008. And think about who we are. Oh boy, here we go. And think about who we are in 2021.
Different souls almost. I've definitely gone through some several lifetimes between then and here. but I'm so grateful for it. I'm so grateful for it. I've needed to shed every one of those skins to get to this one,
It is, yeah. So I feel, oh gosh, there's so many things that come. Like I talk about the God downloads that come to me at like 3-4 in the morning. I'm getting it at 6:29 p.m. right now.
Go ahead, get it.
Talking to you. I've got about like 5 or 6 different things that we need to discuss offline that we will eventually discuss online to invite people to what we're going to do. Like in the next couple of next year, 2022, 2023 is happening. Like this, I keep saying this. The Reclamation Project for She Who Is, this current installation will be closing on the 13th next Saturday, but it's not done.
There.
It's not. Yeah, be there. RSVP now, because the RSVP is open and it will probably fill up in the next couple of days. But the work, it's not done, because when Will's video comes out and people will hear from the artists talking about, like, first of all, I am thoroughly impressed. Like, I guess I can give a little. Your audio that you submitted will probably be the last thing. It has to end with that. Your piece, your picture. I mean, not just because of the picture, but just even what you're saying brings it all together.
Yay! Because I'm so grateful.
So it's not going to be over. Like, this is what will bring us to Clearwater, Florida. And this is what's going to bring us to Raleigh, North Carolina. And this is what's going to bring us to Brooklyn, New York, and what's going to bring us to Chicago, Illinois, right? The places that have shown
Absolutely.
interest already from what we were
Yes.
doing in 2019 and definitely what we're doing now. So
Yes. Manifest.
it's not done. I mean, for those that aren't even in Atlanta or in the, Georgia area that can come, you will be able to get and see the work. But stay tuned for a city near you, is what I'm saying.
Yay! It makes me so, so happy. And it has to. It's the kind of thing that is so important for the moment. You got the vision way ahead of time, Kimberly, but it's a time when folks are really ready to receive the healing love that is the Reclamation Project. They're ready to take in all the layers of it. You started off and it was co-ed and we had, all kinds of different art. And now you're focusing on the feminine and you're allowing women to speak through as artists, as muses, and I think that's so powerful. And it's, it's only developing from there, but you've always been purposeful about this work. It's personal. It's about you and your journey. It's about how you found yourself and what you are reclaiming. And you gift this all by allowing it to be what it is, by curating the immense artists that you have had on every lineup. It's always absolutely out of control. And that's somebody who follows curators and is all about the art. And I love, if you've ever really met me, been in an art gallery museum with me, I tell you everything that's on the wall before you even see it. I'm like, oh, you got to see this one. Oh, you got to know about that one. He's from this way. That one's from that one. And so I love that. And I just want you to own that you're not just a creator, you're the curator. And you've hand chosen some of Atlanta's finest artists. And it's a pleasure and an honor to be a part of the cast that you've always been able to put into these shows and the spaces you've worked in. Tri-Cities is a fantastic space and it really nurtured the experience beautifully for the opening and for this opening as well, as I could see from the video. And, we've worked with...
I keep saying Yada's the 25th artist. He's the 25th artist. Like, it's an all women, artist exhibit, but he's the 25th artist because the way in which these pieces are presented on the wall and the order, I don't know what was going through his brain specifically, but it's like a story that's being told throughout the room. So that,
and I love that. It's another part of your beautiful love story is that you marry so well in all the ways. You marry so well in all the ways. He understands you. Ooh, I love it. That's a classic. That's an early one. I remember that one.
That was my baby shower. Wait, this was my baby shower gift in when Solomon was born. Before Solomon was born. That's the story. That's called the story of us. It's called Us, right? It's called Us. Yeah. So
love it. Big shout out to Lord Yada.
It's been us for 20 years. They talk about waves. Life is waves, baby.
Love it. Y'all been surfing the high ones, and you know how to get up and sit and stand out on the low ones.
He said ebbs and flows. There's been ebbs and flows.
Yes.
And I appreciate it because look, I know that I'm able to do what I do because of him, and he's able to do what he does because of me.
Yes. Beautiful, beautiful harmony, that balance that you know how to calibrate so well. And I think, naming him as that 25th artist, I think, I just want to make sure to say thank you, Yada, for being an exemplary human. And as the male presence, hello, beautiful one. Oh my goodness, you're so good. I can't believe how big she is. Sophia's huge. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry. I'm just getting overclamped about the babies. Okay.
I know, she came down. Thank you, baby.
But thank you, Yada, for being the kind of male presence that supports women, that supports your partner in particular, but that supports the community, that supports the vision, that understands it to be able to put it in that lineup that way, that gives the time and the energy, especially after the year y'all went through, recent, recovery.
The month.
Honey.
Well, September was
it hadn't been but a couple weeks, right? It hadn't been but a couple weeks.
It was a doozy. It was like when we had a conversation about the vision for your work, he was healing. I was downstairs, he was upstairs, he was healing. And so we went from that to then, like a few days later, me starting a new job at Georgia State. into
All of
like
it.
reclamation was gonna happen. Like that was it was not like, oh, all these things are happening. We have to that wasn't even a question. It had to happen, right?
That's where you're getting. See, look, that's where you're getting. It's waves, but you know what's beautiful about life? Every wave you surf, you get better and better at surfing, and you get stronger and stronger, and it gets easier and easier. So this time around, the big wave came, and you're like, no, but I know you though. I know I can ride you. I got
Let me
you.
ride it.
I got this. I got strong since last time. I got this. Hang 10, baby. I love it. Get it. I love
Oh
it.
my
But that's,
goodness.
that's wisdom, that's growth, that's progress, that's healing, that's community too, being able to build that with your bigger community, but that first unity of the core that is your family, your partnership. I think it's beautiful and it's exemplary. It's so necessary and a balm for the spirit. And I'm always going to thank you for not just being who you are, but being the unit that you all are as a family, including your beautiful children that make me so giddy I forget what I'm saying.
I had to pull her in on this one. Yeah. I just and that is, this is not even the tie-in of me, but that is the Reclamation Project, right? Like
Yes.
it being an inclusive, my husband's involved, and that yes, my children are under 21, but they have been so much a part of, they're very aware, like they've seen the work, they've been in the shop, they understand like what what it's about. And I hope that is an influence or it's impactful for them to just celebrate like some things. And I get this too. I know that this exhibit is not for everyone.
And that's
I would love for it
okay.
to be. I would love for it to be a teaching moment, or not even a teaching moment, but a welcome, like a come on. I know it's a little like Kimmy had given me an analogy that there's a pool and some people are like getting naked and jumping into the pool into the deep end.
Mhm.
Some people they have their swimsuits on and they are
Mhm.
swimming in the 5 feet, right? Some people are
Yep.
sitting at the 3 feet with their legs in, but they're sitting on the edge. Some people
Mhm.
are just going to be on the lounge chairs. And then there's some people that will be on the outside of the gate, really
Yep.
desiring to be in there because they see how free and everybody, how, liberating it is, but they're just not there yet. And I have to honor that.
Yeah.
I have to really see that,
Absolutely. But you know what? The
again,
beauty of it is you create the work, you share the work. People will come to it in their time. People who
yeah.
weren't ready in 2018 might be ready in 2021 showing
Mhm.
up, right? And
And
so,
I've seen
so
that
who
with the
knows how
artists.
that goes across. Exactly. And the
Mhm.
and the other thing is you're giving us a space to tell our truth, and that in itself is a gift. That in itself,
Mhm.
any space where an artist, especially around topics of sensuality, body image, womanhood, race, all of those
Mhm.
are not spaces that you can always speak on, especially all at once, inclusive,
You said all at once, but I didn't think
inviting.
about that. I don't think I've ever thought about that.
And it's got the layer of mental health there because we have to talk about, self-care, mental health, all of these different things when we talk about body image, when we talk about, how we feel about ourselves, how we are seen by the world. So, and I'm just really grateful always to be a part of this. This is a celebration of Black women. I'm a Brazilian woman. I'm grateful to be included in this, but I have to give such love to the Atlanta community that has always supported me. It has always been the arts and Black folks supporting the hell out of me. And I have to say thank you because I went 20 years of being a photographer, and that is the community that has always seen, heard, understood me, celebrated me, given me space, given me avenue, especially with things I don't feel I have the right to talk about or that I didn't feel empowered to talk about because of perception stuff,
Yeah.
being a fair looking Brazilian. I know I pass. I know there's all these layers to things, and I just immense respect. Never want to be misunderstood.
I
Never want
love
to be
you so
taken
much
out.
because you've always been, and I know it's all terminology and semantics. I consider you allies, cool, right? You are an accomplice because I know you will get down with me
Woo,
in
will
it,
I?
right? And I
Yeah.
appreciate even last year when a lot of things were heightened, you were very, very um, loving in the way in which you talked to me. about even like having a space to say something, right? I don't I remember the conversations, like she's really being reflective and empathetic. And it wasn't on some like, oh, well, like I said, it wasn't, you know, I don't want to put tears to it, but it was just different. It was more heart centered, you know,
I just,
in the way
for,
in which
for
we
me,
connected.
I don't get how we can be here. I think I tend to be naive, and I tend to, I think that's part of, living in a different body. I don't have that experience sometimes direct, right? So it's not until things really hit that I'm like, man, are we still here? Man, are we really here? Is this really what my sisters and my brothers have to deal with? And it came in such a heavy wave last year that it was like, we got to do
What?
something. We got to speak up in some way. So I was thinking about ways we can petition the world at large, but I knew it wasn't my conversation to have. And so I was trying to find ways to communicate with my, with my community about what I was feeling like. How can I show up, and what can we do to really bring a bigger conversation? And throughout the year, different experiences have happened that I'm like, okay, there's something out there. There's definitely folks asking certain corporations to make amends or calling them out more directly. And I love seeing that, because we're finally realizing, we've been taught that it's basically we got governance and all these stuff, but we're really realizing it's a corporate system, So if we want some sort of result, we got to go directly to the head of the beast. You got to talk to the boss.
Yep.
Government is basically gatekeepers at this point, right? So it's not to trust what's there. It's to understand the reality that they've carved out with their, financial exchanges and their understandings of what works and what doesn't, that, is really not working for us as a population. So we have to be able to speak truth to power. But yeah, I think that there's got to be a delicate balance with that, when it's not my conversation to be having, but a conversation I want to support.
You're very mindful of that. Very mindful of that, and I appreciate that. Sarah just peeked in.
Hello, Sarah.
Who will be 15 in March?
Oh
who will be 15 in March?
Can't even with you. How did I did not get permission for them to grow this fast? But
Sophia will be 10 in January.
It's so wild. She was the baby.
So let's talk about this. Where are you going next? Like, I know. Oh, let's talk about the 13th here in Atlanta will be the Reclamation Project for She Who Is closing. But let's talk about November 13th, where you are.
Yes, if you're tuning in for my area, which is the Tampa Bay area, so if you're traveling through during those dates, November the 13th from 5 to 8 p.m., I'll be at the Creative Pinellas campus at the Largo Botanical Gardens. You could go to creativepinellas.org and buy your tickets there. It's only $10 for the night of, or you can get $25 tickets for the full weekend, which includes events on Friday and Sunday after. But it is on Saturday, November the 13th from 5 to 8. I'll be doing live light painting demonstration with the performers of that night. So anyone who's making music or doing dance that night will be one of my subjects for my own performance of my long exposure technique live. So if you're not familiar, if you've seen my work, if you've seen it online, or if you saw it at the Reclamation Art Show and you're not sure how I make my images, I do them in absolute total darkness through a technique called long exposure photography. I put my camera on the tripod. I use a remote access or a timer, and I allow the image to expose for several minutes in total darkness while I light with flashlights, Christmas lights, tinsel, cloth, all kinds of different strange, unusual, experimental methods of photography. But yes, creativepinellas.org, perfect. And that's where you can get your tickets for November the 13th in the Tampa Bay area. If you're in Tampa Bay, it is in Largo at the Largo Botanical Gardens campus, and it's a museum called Creative Pinellas. So you can go there, and it's only $10 for that night from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. And I'll be performing throughout the night doing my long exposure. I'll also have a 20-year retrospective that includes the beautiful image that I did of Kimberly. Oh yes, here it is, Arts Annual Weekend 2021. So November the 13th, which
13th
is
to 14th.
Saturday from 5 to 8 p.m. will be my specific.
I'll scroll down. That's all the
That's the
information
pass
get
you want to
there.
purchase.
Yes.
But yes,
I will.
one of the images, the main image, the reclamation icons, which is the one that you see, was inspired the iconic logo that Ron, the graphics guy, Ron Tillman, designed for the Reclamation Art Project. That image will be as one of the silk flags, or satin flags rather, the 8x10 that will be hanging on a wall with lights around it and tinsel. It's going to be a whole installation mosaic wall that you can do selfies in front of. And I will also have, works that I haven't shown in many years as part of my 20-year retrospective, because I started shooting in 2001 and it's 2021 somehow. I don't know how. But here I am
I
still
don't know
shooting.
what time. I don't know what happened to time. I was thinking about pulling up other videos and I was like, ooh, but my areolas are showing in that video. Ooh, I didn't blur out that. So, because I was going to go back to when you started talking about, there's nothing wrong with it, but look, Facebook be doing the most.
Oh, I
look,
know.
I did
You're right.
video today at the shop, and it was like there was music playing in the background. I wasn't even thinking about like this being a challenge, or I should have put, I don't own the copyrights. I'm just talking about the work that was around me, and they flagged it and they banned it in all these countries. And it was like, really? I was just saying RSVP.
Wild, man.
That's all
Yeah.
I'm saying.
I mean, it's wild that they can keep up with us at all, but it's funny that we're the ones getting cut off. You see a lot worse stuff online.
Do you see, do they have a person assigned to me specifically, assigned to me, to you, like assigned to certain people? And I really wonder, okay, are there certain tag words like Black woman? I know for sure Black erotica, or even the word erotica, right? Because
I think
I had the page is on Facebook is the Reclamation Project, a celebration and retrospective of Black beauty. Because when I had it as Black erotica, it was constantly being attacked in the early years, right? But then when I did this show, this exhibit, I was able to create an event page that said Black erotica. And when I typed it and it went through and they didn't take it down, I was like, ooh, I was able to say erotica. Bunch of pearls,
Where's pearls? No, for real, because it's crazy that the policing that the female body has to, we've talked over this online for sure many a times, especially around the motherhood community and nursing. I know I felt a lot of shaming of myself during nursing time, and it was before it became more trendy in 2008ish. I would say by 2010, 2015, the conversation was much more expansive around nursing publicly and stuff. But when I first started, I still had a lot of shame issues. The family around me was shaming me around that, and so it was always the cover and the baby sweating under there and all that, and now I see people just pulling it out, and I'm like, I could have done that.
Listen,
I would have saved me a lot of sweat, stress.
When we went to, actually, it was Clearwater, Florida, right, Kenyatta? We went to Clearwater, Florida for my sister Nikki. She's now Nicole Edmond Peku, so she's Fahamu's sister-in-law. She married Fahamu's brother, and they had a beach wedding. This is maybe almost, almost 15 years ago, because Sarah was 10 months when we went to the wedding. And so there was a fancy restaurant that we went to there. You had to wear jackets, and it had this old 200-year-old wine cellar. It was somewhere in Clearwater, Florida. Maybe you know what I'm talking about. But I remember wearing a sundress, basically something like this, but I had a little tie around it, right? It was, so imagine this necklace being connected to it. And I was nursing Sarah still. She was 10 months old. I nursed her for a year and a half. And so it was time to nurse. And I know this is a very fancy restaurant, so I really didn't feel comfortable nursing her at the table. So I went to the bathroom, this is the thing too. You don't eat your dinner in the bathroom, so why would you feed your baby in the bathroom, right? But I will say this, of all the bathrooms that I've ever been in, this was a great bathroom because it had a swivel seat. The toilet seat actually had its own cover. You know how you have the little paper covers that you put on? It would swivel to a new cover. It was a very fancy restaurant.
I've seen that. I know what you mean. Wild.
Of all the bathrooms to nurse my child in, it was okay. Like I was actually very comfortable and very pleased. But it was that discussion of, okay, first of all, I felt like I had to go to the bathroom because what I was wearing would be too exposing, and and so actually there's a picture, I don't know if that's in the bathroom, of me and Solomon and Nikki. And I think Sarah is like climbing up somewhere. But yeah, that and it's come a long way. You're right. Because I, of course, follow a lot of birth work accounts on Instagram. And there
You
are
have
times
your
where
own
I have my own Warrior Mamas with an S. Yes,
warrior
there's
mama.
Warrior
Don't you
Mama.
forget it, because that's what changed my life to begin with. Okay, so thank you to you, to Toliwa, to Rajania for bringing forth, for birthing me into the birthing community through the work that you did and the education I received in that work.
I'm grateful for them. I'm grateful. But, I will open up my Instagram sometimes and just automatically see a birth. Like, ooh, it's 6 o'clock in the morning. Okay, let's do this. Like, that's who I follow. People I was on there's a weekly call that a friend of mine has, and they were talking about, like, what's in your Explorer on Instagram? Like, what's on your, when you go to Explore, it typically shows things that you always interact with. And I'm thinking, I got birth, I got breast, I got all the things that probably
All the
5 years
juicy
ago
things,
got banned.
all the
All the
juicy
things.
things, all the things that are
Look,
good and constantly being made taboo for
literally
no reason.
and figuratively, Linda. Juicy.
All the juicy, all the juicy, real
all
juicy,
the juicy.
juicy.
All the juiciness.
Because
So we are
again, great curator all around. You curated a beautiful family. You curate amazing shows, events, absolutely divine events, even. Okay, absolutely divine events. If y'all haven't been, you better go. If you haven't checked out can you tell me just a few of the major things that absolutely divine events have been a part of? Please, can you brag for like 2 seconds? I just want my people here to know how big you are, because I'm hoping to bring it down one day.
So Reclamation Project is probably the newest baby of the family. Prior to that, Needle to the Record, even though we didn't do one every year, it's been 15 years since the first one. So there will be a celebration coming up in the spring. I think I found the right spot. And so basically that's the DJ competition, all vinyl DJ competition. But we'll probably, what are you looking at for? Can y'all just do like a number like what? So yeah, that's why we went to that venue a couple of weeks ago on Halloween weekend, because I wanted to check out a space. So I've also in the arts community, in the birth community, I also have a family in the DJ community. And I'm talking about like some pioneers. I'm not talking I've been very blessed to like work with the brother that's like the inventor of scratching. He's been, DJ Grand Wizard Theodore, like, DJ Scratch, DJ Red Alert, all those folks have been a part of my events. And so I want to celebrate. It's basically a celebration of turntablism, right? So now, the Scratch Wizard Theodore. I said him already. I said Grand Wizard. He's Grand Wizard. I said that. So anyway, so that's to come in the spring, because after Reclamation, like this is the thing too. And if anyone from it's a very small team from my new job, I think they know what I do. They know what I do. They already they celebrated and all those things. I'm going to put an end, like not end, but like we're going to put a pin in that. And so I have to regenerate and recalibrate, like you said, calibration. Also the birth vision board workshops. That'll be coming soon again.
Love that.
Dish with the doulas. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with Dish with the doulas, right? Like Dish
but
with
check
the doulas.
out what you've already done. Tell them where to find it, because you've already done the work. That's a whole library of information.
It really is. It lives on YouTube. So if you go to the bio on any of my, Instagram, it's the linked tree bio. You'll go to Dish with the Doulas, and it's over 25 episodes or videos of people that were in my birth world and my birth stories. And then the season 2 was organizations that I've just admired and I've followed, to get information and resources from. So I'm not sure there's a pin in that, but I do know this. There was a sister that passed away about a couple of months ago. She was a friend of ours, and she passed away in childbirth, and that did something to me. And I want to get through this particular experience and movement to go to the next movement, because this mobile prenatal like RV idea I have, and I don't mind sharing it, because if someone, there needs to be more than one. You know what I'm saying? So if
Yeah,
someone wants to take that
that's a big
and do
idea.
it, go do it. Go do
Yep.
it now. But it needs to be where we bring services to the people that need the services, prenatal services, postnatal, or even just if you're not pregnant, just gynecological reproductive health resources, right?
Yeah.
Like that
Yeah.
being a mobile unit that either you come
Absolutely.
to or it goes to you. So that's something that and I really believe that when you're given a vision, that it's supposed to happen, like, or you wouldn't have been given the vision. Like
That's why
when
you're
when
so
you see a
wise.
vision, but I
That's why
believe
you're
it,
so
Linda, because
wise.
you know this, Linda. You see it, and so first of all, you have to believe that it's possible to happen. But then once you're like, oh, okay, I see it, then it's the law of attraction of bringing in the people and the resources and the situations that'll need for it to happen. But I already think the battle is not even the battle, but it's been won when you get the vision. Like you got the vision, which means it's gonna happen. It wouldn't have been planted in you if it wasn't possible to happen. Now, what you do with it is on you, but you got the vision. You didn't
How
get
it
that just to
develops, ends up,
please.
yep. All of that doesn't matter, but that it's
It
coming
doesn't
out. And
matter.
that's something I'm learning to be more careful with it, because as I progress, I'm an artist, but I also, market, I support, I promote,
You've been doing all the things,
I work
Linda.
with,
These last couple of
I,
years, you've been on it.
I'm working on it. I'm working.
Oh,
Stay
you
tuned.
doing it.
Stay tuned. Stay tuned. We just getting started. No, but for me, it's partly because I'm an expressive, expansive creature that gets bored in just one thing at a time. I like doing a lot of different things, and it keeps me excited. Sometimes it's a bit overwhelming. So I have ebbs and flows, as we talked about, to calibrate that. For instance, if I'm really working hard on my photography stuff, I might do something like theater for a bit, because I need a palate cleanser. I just need to express in a different way that I don't need to be validated or admired or promoted, but it feels good. It feels real for me to get into that character. It feels, like something that transmutes something in me, right? So, but I think with ideas, when you're talking about ideas, it's allowing the idea to go where it needs to go, and trusting that it's not supposed to necessarily be anything in particular, but that it came for a reason. Allow it to develop in the hands that feel right, share, because I have so many, sometimes I'm constantly giving and giving, and people don't, first of all, people are like, who are you? Why would I trust you with an idea? I just met you. I don't know you. Why would I trust, So there's that. There's like, I'm too giving, and folks don't know how to really receive sometimes, from that place of trust. Just because I'm a trusting individual doesn't mean people trust me, you know? So there's that. And then the other side is I have to be able to hone in on the ones that I can, that are sellable, marketable, useful ideas that are, professional ideas I should hold on to and grow and develop in right ways. But my instinct is always to do what you just said. It's here. It's not mine. It's spirit. It's ours. It might be yours. It might be the person down the street that heard me say it halfway while they were riding on the bike. I don't know whose it is. It's here right now. It needs to come out, right? Like I don't want to limit the birth of whatever is being born right now. I have to allow it to fully express. So for me, my instinct is always to trust that what is meant to be is meant to be, that what is mine is mine. And also that there's magic. There's magic in creation. And I don't understand all of it. Let it be what it needs to be. Let it breathe, So
That's
giving
the
the gift is
surrender part. That's a whole other conversation, Linda. Is the surrender part.
Yes.
That's another talk for another day.
Because we got to surrender here, is what you're saying. We got to wrap it up and surrender this.
Listen, I'm trying to keep it at an hour because I know you got things to do. I got things to do. Yada's cooking in front of me and it smells real good. And Sarah too. She said, me too. And Sarah too. Yay. And so is there anything that you would like to share with the audience, those that are watching the replay, those that are watching live now? What would you like to share about what's to come for Linda Costa and the work that you create?
Well, First of all, thank you for anyone who's followed me at any point during this wonderful 20-year career arc that I've been blessed to have at the hands of nurturing, beautiful, lovely energies such as Kimberly Stewart Lucas, who gave me my very first curated experience where I curated something, who's gifted me so many, amazing experiences to share and create work, such as being one of the first artists for the Reclamation. So I appreciate each and every one of you who has supported me in the journey. If you would want to support in more direct ways, Kimberly's about to give you a great experience to do so. There are 2 beautiful 2x3 foot prints that you can purchase up to 10 prints of. So if you're thinking about holiday shopping and you want to get something really special for your lady, you want to get something really special for your gentleman, something that really explodes, ties the room together, we got those big, beautiful prints. If you want to do something small, seductive, and gentle, we got beautiful little prints for you to collect more privately that you can sneak into that little pocket. He won't even notice that it's there. Oh, boudoir, I like that. Getting that experience. So yes, if you wanna share the beautiful, sensual, powerful, empowering message of the Reclamation Project, one of the ways you can do that is by purchasing prints. Part of the proceeds obviously goes to the project, and part of it goes to the artist. So I appreciate you for supporting. And just check me out in general. I'm on Instagram, Linda Costa Photography. And like I said, I work with artists and small businesses, helping develop their vision from where they are to where they're going. I help, do marketing campaigns and promote different artists. So if you're interested in any of those services, definitely check me out on Instagram at Linda Costa Photography. And thank you so much. And make sure you follow at Reclamation Project, at Reclamation Archery, sorry. Be there on November the 13th. Yes. Buy your tickets now, RSVP now for the show. Because it's free.
It's
free. That's right. That's right.
There are spaces because we want to keep this safe. We want to keep it enjoyable. We want to keep it comfortable. And the opening really, really was. So definitely follow Linda Costa Photography right there on Instagram. And RSVP, I think the opening time slot from 7 to 7:30, because it is metered. So it's every 30 minutes is a switch out, right? And the flow just flowed last time. I was very concerned because this is the first time I've done something like this, but it just flowed. And I profess that the closing will be the same, but it's going quickly. So like I said, by probably tomorrow, there may not be, the wait list may be activated. I'm so blessed
to be a part of this show, but you have to see every artist on the wall, some of my favorite artists and some artists that have never been artists in the wall before, such as Melissa M. Thomas, who's one of my muses. She's the one in Ecstasy. So please go check out her beautiful work.
So her first piece before the show even started.
And then Phyllis Iller and all kinds of other amazing, phenomenal Atlanta-based artists who, are talking about their own story. I'm so grateful to be able to capture images about the theme, but, go support these beautiful sisters who are talking from the heart, from the experience with their work. Please go and check it out because it is life-altering, absolutely magical work. So I'm so grateful to be a part of it.
It's so impactful. So I have to shout out also, I think Maya is joining us. Maya, who was my intern when she was at SCAD. This is her second reclamation that she's participated. She sold, in 2019, she sold all 3 pieces, and then she sold a piece on the opening reception. So I always say this, every opportunity I get, the price goes up, Maya. Also, Evelyn, she sold her piece. Tracy, we know her, a lot of people know her from 95th Street Tacos, her and her husband. They have really poured into their artwork and their other creative gifts. She sold her piece. Linda, who I'm with right now, sold a piece. And, I profess that so much more will be, the exchange of currency will be happening on the 13th, which is next Saturday. We will be back at Tri-Cities Tattoo Company celebrating the closing of the Reclamation Art Show for She Who Is. RSVP now while you can. And just, govern yourself accordingly.
That's what I named the piece of you, by the way. That piece of you is called For She Who Is. When I signed the back of it, that's what I signed. So For She Who is Kimberly Stewart Lucas, 100%, and all the women that she nurtures. Be there for She Who Is. I'm so grateful to be a part of it. I love
I
you.
love it.
Thank you for
I love it
including me.
too. Thank you all
Such
for
magic.
watching. Thank you all
Thank
for
you so
those
much
that
for
will
coming,
watch.
guys.
Linda, I love you. Stay on. And we're going to end this here, but definitely we'll see you hopefully on the 13th next Saturday. If we don't see you there, we'll see you online and all the places. And we appreciate you joining us tonight. Have a good night.
Thank you so much for having me. Have a great night, everyone. Thank you for having me, and thanks for tuning in. I love you.
I love you.